Pierce, I think, has now moved above Josh Downs as the clear number 2 guy. He's a legitimate wide receiver 1 for the Colts in real life, and I think a wide receiver 2 type in fantasy. If you're like a kid in Germany, you must be growing up as a kid in Germany like, geez, quarterback's easy to play in America. Maybe I can do that when I'm older.
I thought what you were going to say is like there's a kid in Germany saying like Alec Pierce is the greatest.
Yeah.
Thinks of Alec Pierce the way we think of like Randy Moss.
It's a stain upon the industry, but Alec Pierce remains so available. He has been fantastic. He is the best wide receiver. I think he's the best pass catching option in this offense. Alec Pierce, yeah, like we've said, he's going to get paid like a wide receiver 1, and he's performing like
Since
it.
week 7, he's the 17th best wide receiver on a points per game basis.
Can you talk to that mic just so we can check his level, please?
All right, we are back from Radio Row, and you see him at the end of the set here. Alec Pierce, Colts wide receiver.
Yep. For the
Welcome
shoe.
To the show. For the shoe.
For the shoe.
Jay Croucher's favorite. I mean, I kid you not. You're probably his favorite player in the NFL.
Yeah, it's been an ongoing bit. We were very high on your earlier fantasy football show. We saw your development. I think that people largely pigeonholed you in your early seasons as a deep threat, and just seeing your game develop this year was awesome. What did you see of your own development this year?
Yeah, like you said, I think just getting a lot more opportunities to do more things, talking about, from the short to intermediate game. Yep. I think really my third year, the year before, I think I kind of established that I can be dominant in the downfield passing game, and I think just kind of going from there and just building on that and just doing more of this next year. Just getting that intermediate game and stuff and just getting more catches.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alec, unfortunately, so what we did while you were, we should have timed this a little bit better. We didn't. We had a whole montage of Jay talking you up and just saying, I think he's the best receiver on the Colts. I think he's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. I think he's been somewhat miscast or somewhat pigeonholed, to your point, in terms of just as a deep threat. Jay's a degenerate, and not only is he a big fan of the Colts, but also put a lot of money on the Colts as well, legally, of course, as well. So he watched every single. When I tell you he watched every single play of yours and of the Colts, I mean it. So for the shoe is a big phrase we throw around on the show quite a bit. We wanted to play it back for you, but unfortunately it was playing while you were getting set up. We didn't plan that right, which is typical.
As a Colts fan, it was awesome, particularly the first half of the season, and Shane Steichen's offense just seemed like it was rolling. What did it feel like those first 9 weeks or so, where you guys were a historically great offense?
Yeah. I mean, it felt awesome. It felt like we couldn't do anything wrong, right?
Yeah.
We just go out there. It was just easy. You go out there, we were going to score our first drive. I think it took us a couple games to punt the ball or something. There's some crazy stat on that, but yeah, it felt like we just couldn't do anything wrong. So that was pretty cool to see, and obviously knowing the NFL that, it wasn't realistic. That wasn't going to last the whole year. But yeah, we just got to find a way to kind of keep that going throughout more of the season next year.
Going into camp, it felt like a lot of the NFL world had kind of written off Daniel Jones with how things ended with the Giants. What was it like for your perspective, where the outside noise was, all right, Daniel Jones, then he gets to camp, not only lit it up, won the starting job, but he was playing so well before he got hurt.
Yeah. It was awesome to see that he's able, because obviously that wasn't easy for him,
right,
with what happened in New York, and that's kind of happens in this league sometimes, and it's awesome to see when guys can kind of get back up from getting knocked down and having a tough situation. And I think he made the most of his opportunity last year, really showed what he could do, and it was unfortunate that he got injured, kind of cut things short. But I think with him as our quarterback, you could see how dangerous our team was and what the things we were doing. So yeah, I think he did all he could have done last year.
Alec, take me inside the locker room. So obviously, devastating injury to Daniel. You guys have been rolling along so well. But take me inside the locker room when Coach Steichen comes in and says, by the way, Philip Rivers is coming out of retirement and coming to play for the Colts.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I honestly think that's one of the things I just heard from media first, because I think it was prior off day, so we weren't even in there. But they announced that he's been signed to practice squad, and then I think they gave him probably a day or two of practice to see what he had left in him, and once he looked good enough in practice, then they kind of announced later in the week, hey, we're rolling with Phil this week. He's gonna be our starter. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see, and just pretty special moment being able to play with him. He's future Hall of Famer, just legendary guy. So I think it's definitely something I'll be able to talk about for the rest of my life.
Yeah, did he adopt you? Did he officially adopt you? Are you one of his kids?
Like
now?
11th or 12th kid?
Yeah. He's building out a full team.
Right.
Maybe.
Really is. Is there one thing specifically that you took from Philip that you learned? Like, obviously, incredible veteran. So you're still young in your career.
I loved his speeches. I thought he was like when I saw that he was getting interviewed for head coaching jobs, like I think he'd be an incredible head coach. I don't think I know he's got the whole family and like a bunch of kids back home and his sons, he's the coach for his son's high school football team. So I'm sure he's not ready to get into coaching right now because he's got all the family and stuff like that. But I was like that. I think he'd make a phenomenal head coach.
Yeah. Alec, you should know that Matthew passionately defended you on national television after you got kicked out of that game against Houston in Week 18. But
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a big rant. It went on for way too long, but it was okay. His heart was in it.
I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I feel like he walked in. I feel like the ref, like if you look at the video, tell me if I'm wrong on this. I feel like so you don't understand the call, and so you're like your arms are out, but that he walks into you. That like if you walk, like he sort of like he leaned, a little bit, a little bit. I don't think he was. I don't know if he was trying to, but like I feel like he actually initiated the contact. If you go back and watch it, like there's a Pruder film, which I did. I broke it down frame by frame.
So you throw the challenge flag, maybe it gets overturned, maybe Alec gets 2 free throws. But what gets lost in that is that you were bowling out in that game with Riley Leonard, who played really well against the Texans defense. Like, what did you see from Riley and his kind of growth over the course of the year?
Yeah, it was awesome to see Riley. I was definitely proud of how he played that game. It was, obviously going in their first ever NFL start and playing against the Texans. That's a tough defense, a really good defense. So, it was great to see what he was able to do there. He's a playmaker. You see the playmaking abilities like passing the ball, running the ball. I know that rushing touchdown. So I think quarterbacks like that are dangerous. I think he's a good fit for him. Like him and Daniel get along well, and I think they work together well. Like, really study well, and they probably are both learning off each other. So I think it's good setup for them.
It's those Duke guys. They all seem to mesh well together, Daniel and Riley.
Yeah.
So for the first time now in your professional career, you have a little control where you can go. More excited or nervous about free agency, which is such a whirlwind process?
Yeah, excited for sure. I think, like you said, first time can control where you go. So, we'll see. I think it's going to be nothing but exciting this next month. Probably pretty crazy, but we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, well, you timed the breakout year pretty well going into free agency. I want to ask you about Shane Steichen. Like, everyone thinks that, he's an offensive guru, very accomplished coach. Do you have any examples of what makes Shane such a good coach?
Yeah, I think just like the play calling and just like the, everything he does just with the offense, and it's probably really during the week, I think, figuring out what the other team's running, and I think that really shows with how well we were doing, especially early in the year, on those opening drives. I think he just had them schemed up and ready to go, and just had a good game plan going.
Hey, Alec, we're a fantasy football show, so fantasy football managers loved your season this year. Breakout star. I was curious, does fantasy football come up in your regular everyday life? Do fans come up to you? Do they tell you they've got you on your team? How often does this happen?
Yeah, a lot. Honestly, a lot. I think a lot of people will come up and they'll be like, "Oh, I had you in fantasy, or I picked you up and I dropped you," and I'm like, that's cool. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I played you and you gave me 0 points. I'm like, good to meet you too. So it's pretty funny though. A lot of people do like to mention that, and honestly, I think a lot of times that's when I get recognized. People be like, "Oh, you'll be talking to me like, wait, I had you in fantasy football, or I have you in fantasy football." So I think it's probably good, and that's probably why a lot of people know the skill players, honestly, in the NFL is just from fantasy football. Yeah,
I mean, it is true, right? It is. I think that, obviously Colts fans know who you are, but the reason you have a national name, I think, is in part because of fantasy football, because you produce such great stats, because you had such a breakout season, and because so many people had you in fantasy football. Jay had you in our league, by the way, just so you know.
He was. He did great things.
He did great things. Have you ever played fantasy football, Alec, when you were younger?
Yeah. I played Last time I probably played was sometime in college.
Okay.
I feel like I was never like super into it, but I know my brothers are huge into it, my cousins and stuff. So yeah, usually I'd talk to him like Monday or Tuesday, and he'd be giving me the rundown and be like, oh, I just need a couple points out of this guy tonight, or like I can't have this guy get this many points or else I'm gonna lose. So it's always kind of fun.
Did they hit you up like saying like, all right, listen, JT gonna play this week or whatever? Like, I try to get some inside tips.
Honestly, my brothers never do. Okay. No, I did have like. It is weird though, because I had like random people like hit me up before. Like I think when I was hurt, I had a concussion. I had somebody like random, like I had their number still on my phone, but they text me like, "You playing this week?" And I'm like,
not even a hello?
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, you're not gonna like ask like, is my head doing all right or anything? They're just like, yeah, are you playing this week? And I'm like, oh, like. I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna respond to you. I was like, I'm not letting you know that. Like, no, maybe if you ask nicely, like.
No, that is the right response. Yeah. That is absolutely the right response. Yeah. Never answer that unless it's me texting you, and then which I really need to know. We have a.
There it is.
What happened here? All right. Goodness. All right. Well, our show, Fantasy Football Happy Hour, takes place in a bar when we're not normally in Radio Row, and so what we've been asking all of our guests to do, as part of the show, we do a bunch of. We have a bunch of bar-related games that we do, and one of the things we do is we do beer pong. We do beer pong.
All right.
So if you don't mind, so far By the way, we'd like you to do the celebrity pong shot. We want you to be the celebrity pong shot for us. So far, none of our guests have hit this yet, but I'd love for you to.
It's pressure.
Yeah.
Versatile
stand
athlete.
It there.
That's pressure.
Professional athlete. Here you go.
We'll get you.
Unhook him so he's got some room. All right, here we go.
Lefty. Wow, Manu Ginobili. Good technique.
Right, here, take one more shot.
Yeah, one more.
Go wide. We need a wide shot. There we go. There we go.
The old lefty.
Almost. There he is. But listen, superstar, fantasy football superstar, Alec Pierce. Huge season. Congratulations. Good luck in free agency.
Yes, thank you.
For the shoe. And we thank you. We thank you for taking some time with us today.
Thank you, Alec.
Appreciate the support.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com. And I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched. Or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.